The following program is sponsored by The Greek, Ealy's Radio Shack dealer at 570 Altman in downtown Ely, and brought to you as a public service by KGTV Channel 10 in Ely, Nevada. White Pine County Tourism and Recreation Board meeting, January 28th, 2020.
Is it 8:30? I think. Like the same as last time? 8:30.
Is it 2 days again?
Yes.
And I can come at the end and just do the worksheet.
No.
Make sure that
You already have to make up a day.
I'm gonna be sitting by the door.
So we have to send you to Elko for that.
I'm gonna be sitting by the door going in and out.
Hi,
of the
Caroline.
table.
I'm sorry I can't go bowling. I have an excused absence. Indeed.
With the picture?
I know.
Oh, yeah, I just,
Would you send it?
I sent it
I was
to.
So
we're all
Brian just asked if it's hard to because of the delay. But can
I got one in my truck if you need it.
Not a branded bill set?
Yes.
Where I got my head stuck the Watchmen the other day, yeah.
I signed your name there. It was just the letter for the building, right?
Oh, dude, I had this made probably when you were very young, but,
Is it what I think it is?
it's from Halo, yeah.
There it is.
I'll do that to like
The original gamers.
Oh. Yeah, I sent you the wrong thing there. Do you want that? I forgot that. I'm pretty sure I did, yeah. Okay, I'll shoot it. Okay. Yeah.
you can nominate for positions other than your own.
Right.
Yeah.
Showing Hunt's property.
Okay.
Tell me when you're starting. Okay.
Are we recording? Okay.
All right, welcome to White Pine County Tourism and Recreation Board meeting. Today is January 28th. The time is 4:05. Please stand and join the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
justice for all.
Thank you. Item number 1 is public comment. Do we have anyone that would like to make a public comment?
Batter up.
Speak into the microphone.
Pardon me?
Oh, just make sure you're speaking into so Brian can hear you and we can get the recording.
Oh, he's not here?
He's right there. He's in the little black box.
You know, when you take on an obligation, you gotta show up. Mr. Chairman, the money that was given to the community choir for prison patrol needs to come back to this board. NRS forbids you from supporting the private business. I want to remind you again, they were not a 501c at the time they applied. They misled you. Failure to properly disclose or apply under false pretense is a violation of law. We all know that. Those fly-by-nights need to clean up their act. They do not even meet minimum ADA standards for the handicap for that facility. They have a problem. The sign is posted on the front of the building stated no soliciting, no loitering, no skateboarding, private property. You can't do that, folks. Mr. Chairman, the Convention Center Touring Rec Board building needs a new signage on the front glass front. You can't see the signage. I drove by this morning, one at 7:75 and the other at 8:15, did not see an open sign. I looked closer at your lettering on the front glass and could barely see what the building represented. You need to change the lettering to a lighter color, perhaps white, something that stands out. Something that informs those passing by what the building is for and its hours of operation. Not happening.
That's a good idea.
I thought it was just glare before, and it was just me. But no, as I was walking up today, same thing. Gotta change that.
Yep.
I can understand why tourists have a difficult time in finding you folks. The information signs located along Otwell have yet to be modified to show distance to the different facilities and tourist attractions. Rookies need to be replaced. Those that can't do, that don't have any skin in the game are causing hardships for those that do. Whoever's planning these signs and not putting down any kind of distance, they don't have any gain, anything to gain. We're the losers. Somebody from out of town looking for the golf course sees a sign, they're gonna crawl for 2.5 miles before they find it. Correct the situation, period. Correct it. Same with signage here, where this facility is. Across the street, 2 feet, something. Mr. Chairman, with all the money that this board has given to the county golf course, what is the increase in play over the last 3 years? I've asked that numerous times. The county commission just gave 1% of the room tax that was designated to the county pool to the golf course. That was improper. The 1% levy was for the swimming pool only. If they don't need it, the room tax must be reduced by the 1%. It can't be transferred. You enacted it for a specific purpose only. It wasn't part of the general tax. It was for the swimming pool only. Mr. Chairman, on your agenda item, Roman numeral 2, 7, the Chambers of Private Club, I want to remind you, this board cannot enhance a private business. You can do tourist-related events together, but they need to pay their own way in remodeling their building, not the hotel motel industry. Some are members, some are not. Again, it's a private club. The contemplated agreement is one-sided. I don't see any modifications. I've asked in the past, I'm asking again, I've yet to receive any information in regards to Mr. Spear, who is a contractor with the Tour and Rec Board. Does he have a state business license, a city business license, a commercial location, or home occupation? I will remind you, he took over $300,000 just in bonus money from this facility. He was a contractor. He was not an employee. He needs to step up and prove that he was properly licensed. Mr. Chairman, again, the Nevada Northern Railroad is continuing to get additional grant money from this board in addition to the $240,000 they received from room tax. They are not operating under the Nevada Open Meeting Law, and the citizen, the taxpayer, cannot see how the monies are spent. Again, they need to be cut off or be held accountable. I remind you that Mr. Bassett manages the railroad and his wife is the bookkeeper. There must not be any nepotism, and it's clear that there is. At a recent city council meeting held on September 19, 2019, the railroad was seeking to borrow approximately $450,000, and for what? We don't know. They have yet to report what their total debt is. I want to know if any member knows. The city member should know, and has the responsibility to disclose. So Kurt, I'm going to ask you, I want to know what the debt is. I don't know if they're still in debt. They have an obligation to be debt-free by the end of the year. That's all I have for now, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, George.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Tim Bunch for the record. As far as HR is concerned, just one thing that I wanted to bring up. Currently, we're in the process with PoolPack of getting e-learning up and running. They have transitioned from one provider to another. New company is called Absorb, and so when that is up and running, which the ETA on that is March 1st, the Tour and Rec employees will have the opportunity to also receive that training, some basic training as far as bloodborne pathogens, anti-harassment, bullying, those kind of modules are going to be a part of that process. I want to make sure that the Tour and Rec committee is aware of that training, so make sure that everybody's on the same level playing field. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tim. Anyone else? Okay, we'll go to number 2, new business. Item 1, discussion and for possible action, approval of agenda, including removal of agenda items. We're gonna go ahead and move item number 7, right after number 3.
And that's the chamber discussion, so that Wayne can get to his chamber mixer. You gotta get to your chamber mixer before 6, right? Or before 5? Oh, you canceled it?
Yeah.
Well, then never
I said,
mind.
never mind,
Never mind.
okay.
Just kidding.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the agenda as printed.
All right,
Second.
thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, no opposed. Okay, item 2, discussion and for possible action, approval of minutes of December 19th, 2019, for a 4 PM meeting.
Without objection, I'll move that we accept the minutes as presented.
I will second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, passed. Okay, item 3, discussion and for possible action, election and approval of board positions including chair, vice chair, treasury, and secretary. I'd like to make a motion that we appoint Caroline McIntosh as chairman.
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next item is vice chair. Now, she will take over, or how do we do that?
It's pleasure of the board. Since the motion's been made, she can take over. You can continue the rest of this meeting if it's easier, whatever you
Yeah,
want to
just
do.
go ahead.
Okay, all right. Next
You're on a roll.
position is vice chairman.
Madam Chair, I move that, to elect Marietta Henry as vice chairman to continue on in that position.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay, motion carries. Position of treasurer.
Madam Chair, I move to elect Ian Bullis as the treasurer.
I'll
I'm
second
signing
that.
all the checks right now anyway.
I'll
He's done
second
a
that
great
motion.
job, they're already signed.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Position of secretary.
Crickets.
I'll move to nominate Brian Goringer.
I'll second that.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Congratulations, everyone. Okay, item 4 for discussion and review of the financial report.
Okay. All right, well, thank goodness for Christmas events. I don't think anybody's like breathing easy these days, especially downtown properties, but we did see a little bit of an increase compared to this time last year. So we'll start out with the room tax report right here. So this form that has the actuals of what was collected from this last month. And so what you'll see is we've got room tax actually collected from all properties. The one that you see that was not collected in October, that's a remittance from last month. So the Big Four Ranch is going to be taken off of there because I found out that the city did not give them their lodging license, so that actually is not a property that's required to collect room tax anymore. So we'll have to get that off of the form. But essentially what you'll see is for our hotel motels, $87,567.47 of room tax was collected. For the RVs and campgrounds, which most of those are in the county, so you're gonna see how that pays out to like the county dividend for the golf course, but there was the collection of $1,036.65 for a total of $87,410.25. What that came out to is Torn Rec saw $55,752.83 to the budget. The railroad got $12,900. Pool, obviously nothing because the county went ahead and transferred that over. City of Ely got $15,724.03, and the golf course got a total of $555.66. Again, because they only draw from the county properties, which are mostly RV resorts, which are down this time of year. So it makes sense that that is what what it equates to. So if you flip to the next page in that, that would be the actual comparison report. And so it shows that we're up 8% from this time last year. But again, we've got a new hotel property, we're collecting higher in the county, even though the county's down. So even though it shows you know, an improvement from this time last year, I don't think anybody's ringing the bell and celebrating. We're just plugging through a pretty slow time. And that also shows in the 8% 8-year comparison after that. So pretty steady again. Christmas is a good time of year. October and November was very, very tough, as it usually is. But I've got some preliminary numbers back from January. There were quite a few people who came in from out of town for Fire and Ice. So the hotels that I talked to were pretty happy. And not surprisingly enough, we had quite a few people come up to ice fish last weekend. Even though the Rotary canceled the ice fishing derby, they didn't see any revenue from all the people coming up, but we'll see that because they still stayed in their hotels and everything. So moving over to the budget now.
Excuse me, so they let them ice fish on the Cape Lake?
Or on Cummins Lake.
Cummins.
On Cummins Lake. So
Would that have been?
it would have very much been a viable alternative, but it was not a decision that was made, unfortunately. So the thing is, everybody still had a great time ice fishing in White Pine County last weekend. It just didn't result in income for the Rotary Club. So if you go to our budget now, and we are going to be talking about a budget augmentation to try to arrange, essentially at the auditor's recommendation, but you can see that total income for the year is $993,486.75. That's about 57% what we had budgeted for the year. But pretty much where we're supposed to be for the city room tax collected and the county room tax collected. If you go down to total expenses, that's $993,809.72. Essentially, it shows that we've got an operating surplus of $3,097. Again, that's not the truth because we had to move that $150,000 from Rec Brothers over, but that's what the budget augmentation is going to go ahead and change. So even though it shows that we're operating at just above what we projected for, we're actually operating at much higher than what we projected for. We just didn't budget for that $150,000 that had to be moved over from Rec Brothers, but that's all going to change. The big thing that I will point out where we're getting kind of close is in the community marketing. And so this year we actually reduced that line item by $10,000 so that we could put money into Main Street, public art, and historic asset preservation. And since then we've been doing a lot more mailers, we've been doing a lot more local marketing. Essentially there's a couple campaigns that were really good ideas that we did. So I think considering that that's up of community marketing 80%, with 4 more months to go in the fiscal, we should probably think about augmenting that as well, so we can continue to do our marketing.
So you're pleased with the results from that community marketing campaign?
I am pleased with the results. Even talking with people who do mailers, the amount of mailers that we get back is kind of industry standard. So even though it kind of hit me hard doing it for the first time, that's normal to get that many back. But like I was saying, when I was down in Caliente, everybody had their mailers with them. And it was like, are you the guy that sends us these? So we're definitely going to continue with that. We're going to continue with, so that campaign is, it's posters, it's print ads, it's digital ads, it's mailers, and then we're going to be doing the tabletop tents for the restaurants and things like that. So that'll be the full comprehensive campaign. And I think if we, put a little bit more money into that community marketing, then that'll cover it till the end of the fiscal year. So, but other than that, nothing really stands out of the ordinary for being way over or way under budget. So, any questions about that? I will say we are, because we are getting close to grant reimbursement for the grants that we do, we'll be sending out reminders to everybody who hasn't got their reimbursements in. And you'll see that, aid to organization is mostly reimbursed because those are events that happen close throughout the year. The outdoor recreation grants, those folks need to go ahead and submit. And then the capital improvements, I believe we are about 50% on that one. So.
Thank you very much, Carl. discussion and for possible action, ratify bills.
Madam Chairman, I would like to disclose that I have a small interest in Bath Lumber, and so we'll be separating that out, so put that vote.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the bills minus the Bath lumber bill in the amount of $138,819.56.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye?
Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay. Next item, number 6, discussion and for possible
We
action.
gotta approve the bath lumber bills.
Yep.
Right, that's what we're doing now.
Oh, we are?
Okay.
Next up.
Approval to pay, bill for Bath Lumber.
Okay, I will, make the motion to pay the Bath lumber bill in the amount of $347.98.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed?
And one abstention.
One abstention, thank you. Okay. All right, next item, number 7, update review of progress regarding shared space agreement with the Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, and Wayne chimed in, this is open conversation, you know, so pretty much Wayne and I have gotten together a couple times, went to your board meeting and kind of presented, addressed some of the questions that they had. So again, to kind of let everybody know, we're hoping to get a visitor center space on Altman Street. And so instead of going and getting another building and, you know, we figured doing a shared space agreement with the chamber, who already has a great location where we can trade space for essentially services, you know, to where no money's gonna be exchanging hands, essentially, you know, we're all gonna get, you know, pros and cons and everything, but the idea is that the official visitor center would take over that front space. We would take care of, you know, the design, the staffing of it, controlling the message and like the look of what the visitor experience is. The chamber would still hold an office there, and our person, it would still conduct business out of there, but our person would act as essentially a secretary to free up Wayne's time to pursue, you know, more chamber duties and stuff like that. I mean, it's been made aware that a lot more visitors make it into the chamber building than they do the convention center. The sign, the lettering on the front, absolutely, I can't believe that that's the first time that's come up because you can't see
It
it.
hasn't.
But, you know, having that there, and then there would still be an office for the Main Street director whenever they were hired, and also the horse races would have a shared office there. So it really wouldn't impact anybody's business. Essentially, it would make it more efficient for Wayne. It would allow us to, you know, control the visitor experience that much more. And so essentially, you know, we're still kind of working through with James in what that contract looks like. But in that, and what I wanted to bring the board awareness to is there would be some retrofitting of the space. You know, changing the look, changing the feel, the layout to create more of a visitor's lounge area. And so what we did is we went and asked Great Basin Engineering to come in, or Great Basin Building to come in and kind of give us a quote of what, you know, that would take price-wise to keep this same styling using this, you know, tongue and groove wood, the technology, you know, and essentially just keep the branding from the convention center upgrades overflowing into that space. And so you'll see, you know, there's the building of the wall, there's some additional electrical, making sure the HVAC system ties in, painting, and then wood. Essentially, Sean said it would be, you know, a 2 to 3 week process, you know, of getting it all said and done. You've got some floor plans in the back there, you know, that kind of show. So if you look at the first floor plan, you'll see the two new offices where we put the divider wall in the big conference room and made 2 offices out of it. There's still all the same storage area and access to the bathrooms. The person that we would staff would be in the office that Wayne currently is in, so that they would have a view of the door coming in and being able to come out and create, you know, a welcome environment. The little half wall would be removed, and then we'd be wanting to put like couches and a coffee table in there, coffee, you know, things like that, to try to get people to sit, stay, and get more information about where they're going. So, you know, the quote came back in at $12,700 to do all of that, and I don't think we I mean, I'm just putting this out there for more of a keeping the board informed of, I'm not expecting an action of one way or the other, other than, what your impression is, and then also get Wayne to go ahead and have a chance to talk about how the chamber feels about this and what they may still be concerned about, as part of the process.
Well, yeah, at the last meeting, I think everybody was very receptive to what we're looking at.
Okay.
And I did make a statement that Sean come back in and we changed the wall just a little bit, and I think that's reflected on your drawings, because it actually gives me a little more, about another foot of space.
Perfect.
But again, like I say, I probably spent 60% of my time dealing with tourists. So now I can get 90% of the time working with chamber, 10% goofing off.
I'm glad it's working, because we were sitting over here being like, man, where's all these tourists?
Yeah.
I have a question. Is this change gonna have the shared space open 7 days a week?
Right now, this doesn't change our relationship with you guys as a weekend visitor center. That still is strong. And for right now, because most of the financial burden falls on us with the staffing and everything like that. So I think right now, we're gonna focus on the 5 days a week, and look to expand into the weekend. But for right now, we're not looking to change anything with our relationship with you guys. You're still our go-to weekend visitor center. So this is for me. This is more for like during the week, having a space when fam tours come in during the week, which we are going to have some fam tours coming in after IPW. Going at it that way. And I looked at a couple, if we were to rent some empty buildings and go at it that way, it would be significantly more expensive than operating as a shared space. And with the master plan making this block, the business hub, the meeting hub, the hub of the downtown, I think it's a good partnership. So
probably then what we would be offering then is, since their meeting space is taken away, that they would be able to use,
for bigger conferences, they would have access to hear it at no cost.
well, their board meetings and
Yep.
such like that. Okay.
Yep, exactly.
And then this has been a great hit for having a loop or whatever it is, and I would assume you're planning.
We'll have a screen in there playing, our videos, photographs, things like that, looping through, having the website up, so people can come in, we can show them, how to use the website. I think it would be good too, for the businesses to come in, or events, and we can show them, this is how it looks like, and this is how you navigate what we're doing.
So, for instance, like the all-class reunion, though, we try and staff it that entire time when we have a big weekend.
Oh, absolutely. And I was even thinking for all-class reunion, having it open, having an acoustic guitar player in there, having refreshments or something like that, and just trying to just add to the life of the downtown.
So what's the next step?
I think in all honesty, the next step would be coming back to your board and working with James, and maybe having you, me, and James draft up what an agreement would look like, and then probably bringing it back to all the boards to go ahead and look at and approve.
I wonder if it'd be worth having a special joint meeting just to knock that out, so we don't have to drag this out much further.
All in one setting. Well, we could do us meeting and then bring it back, or a joint meeting, whatever.
If we could just meet, your board meet with our executive board,
Okay,
That's what I mean.
because they're gonna have authorization to approve it. So
okay, perfect.
Well, it's nice that we would start to, we'll work together as two entities on the same goal.
It's stated several times, it's something we should have done 15 years ago.
Well, and the thing that I want to stress, because I know, George, you brought it up, is both groups keep their autonomy. You're a chamber, you function as a chamber, you have your members, you're doing business like, chamber business. We're doing tourism business. Nobody's cross, doing their duties. Everybody's keeping their own autonomy. We're just doing it out of the same space,
Well, and aren't you a 501c6?
What's that?
You're a 501c6, aren't you?
Yes,
You
correct.
have lobbying capacity, so. okay.
Well, I think the big difference is, you promote your members, and we're not a membership-based organization. So, I think that's the thing that,
We also promote other business in the community also.
yeah.
It's just
We
an
don't,
in-kind
it's just
sublease.
not, we push chamber members, but we also promote other businesses.
Thank you for clarifying that, sorry.
So, thank you, Kyle.
Absolutely.
That's it, all right. Item 8, discussion and for possible action, strategic plan 2020.
Okay, so that is